Well, hello there, Chris.
Good evening. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. You think it's gonna rain? Oh, wait, we live in a desert
Yeah,
land.
it it actually did a minute ago rain here, but
Yeah, it rained the other day too. It was kind of surprising. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but no. At any rate, welcome to the DarkCon Dispatch, and this is our second issue. So, like, I was trying to think of something cute. I said, well, we're just shooting the silt, so keeping it clean.
hey, I'm getting a weird delayed echo that's about 5 seconds behind.
Are you? You might need to check your. Let's see, make sure
I
nothing.
don't know if it's on my end or what,
Might be, might be.
because I'm not using it, but I didn't use them last
Yeah, you might need to pop out and pop back in again,
time. Okay. Uh,
or you might need to mute your. If you're watching on YouTube, you mute that one. Mute the YouTube window.
um, okay, I'll try that.
Because you can't watch both Restream and YouTube without having YouTube muted. So, but,
Okay, there it is. Yeah, I didn't realize I had the YouTube one on. That fixed it.
yep, yep. All
That
right.
fixed it.
I don't know if we've got anybody out there or not. We're just just doing my everyday IT duties here. Never mind me.
Yeah.
So, any rate, yeah, you were telling me before we started, you've got some news that you can finally share about one of the guests.
Yes. We've got Mr. Chubby Funster, Greg Christopher, is going to be probably our main special guest,
Yeah.
and he's going to do a couple of special things. One, he's going to run, I want to say all 4 sessions. While he's there, he's going to run 4 different sessions. He's going to be running Shadow Sun, which is his uh, Dark Sun conversion into Shadow Dark
Hmm.
for the people who are getting out of um, 5e and looking for something new, or just the people who want something that's kind of familiar. If you are a 5e player, you want something that's kind of a familiar way to do it. It's stripped down 5e from what I understand. But one of the big things he's doing uh, with it, yeah, stripped down and beefed up. I'll put it
It's
kind of
just it's
both
kind of
ways.
it's really gritty.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's
it
gritty, but
it,
it's
it
rules
loses.
light.
Yeah, about the only thing it has in common with D with 5e is D20.
Yeah,
To be
I'm
honest.
I'm just going off of what I've heard people. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
played
I've
it, so
I've run it and I've
yeah.
played in a couple of Chubby's. I played in one of Chubby's. He did uh, a, uh, uh, a game based off of Shadow Rim called Shadow Rim, um, and that's of course um, based off of Shadow Dark, and Shadow Rim was kind of pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, if anybody has ever played Skyrim, then then they would really enjoy that. And Chubby's a workhorse, man. He puts out a ton of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I was talking to him today, and he was talking about how he's going to be the things what he feels like he should have done, and he's like, I figure I average 3 or 4 pages a day, which I can see that.
yeah,
But if you're talking about finished pages, that's a lot. Uh, but what he was saying, his big announcement was, aside from the fact that he's going to run games for all 4 sessions, and he's going to do a panel to answer any questions. He's also going to be giving away hard copies of his updated uh, Shadow Sun. He's doing an updated version of it that's more complete than the original. And the first 100 people that sign up for and
my
bypass
bad. Yeah,
get
yeah.
will get a hard copy of it when they get to the gate.
Now, is that for the folks that buy the weekend, the full weekend,
Yeah, yeah.
or okay?
For the first 2 day passes. Yeah, you you're right about that.
Yeah,
For the first 100 2 day passes.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Um, so yeah, Chubby's an awesome fellow, and at
yes,
some
he
point in
is.
time, we're gonna get him on here,
Yeah, hopefully,
or on the Bad News Bards, or maybe I'll double book him.
or somewhere. Yeah,
I'll get him on
yeah,
both.
yeah. Get
Um,
him on both and say, hey, talk about Shadow Sun on this one,
yeah,
and talk about all your other Shadow products on the other one.
yeah, because he's got man. You look at his catalog, and it's just like, and he started off doing stuff for other. For some of the other systems. He originally started off trying to do stuff for fifth edition, and it was just you're lost in a pond, and of course with all the AI
Yeah,
stuff out there, it's even worse. The drive through RPG is totally filled with a bunch of stuff. So
yeah,
um,
yeah,
when I see Nightbot out there, I should probably make sure Nightbot is doing the right timers. I'm still getting used to using this Nightbot thing. Uh,
yeah. Sometimes he gets a little, a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? He gets a little anxious to give you some. I've got all this information here. Here's some more. Here's some more.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He ran the Shadow Rim for us, so that was my first time playing.
Yeah,
I've got his Shadow City. So, yes, I did. I told it to behave nicely. Just don't spam it because it's still kind of got an itchy trigger finger
yeah,
on on muting people. I was noticing that the other day when um I had Steven Chenault on from
yeah.
Troll Lord Games, and a couple of people that were there, they were doing like trolls on in their very unique way, and then it's like stop spamming, and I'm like, oh man,
So, so Nightbot's not just the. He doesn't just make suggestions with links. He also is doing
a little bit of moderation,
a
yeah,
little bit of moderation too.
yeah, yeah, because
I like it. You
yeah,
hit it too many times in a 2 minute period, and he's like,
or
"Shut up."
type in all caps. I think I turned the all caps one off.
Yeah,
Uh, that was one of the options. Uh, you know, excess caps. Yeah, I disabled that one because Um, oh, I should have
he's
timed
going to
them.
get somebody just for somebody who has a long screen name that's all caps.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, excess
Well,
emotes. So,
I guess
so
it's good though, isn't it? Because it means you don't have to keep quite as close an eye on the chat all the time.
yeah, I've got it up here, and then of course
Yeah.
I've got restream on here. So, go ahead and let's remind everybody when DarkCon is going to be and where DarkCon is going to be.
All right. DarkCon is going to be this October 24th and 25th at the Knoxville Airport Hilton. Uh, and like I said before, for those of you who fly in, it's attached to the airport. I mean, you got to go under a covered walkway that's about 40 yards long once you get out of the baggage claim, but it is right there.
Look, Agile. You're like clearly on delay.
Yeah.
So so I love Agile. Agile Monk is awesome. He's a buddy of mine too, and he's a friend of the trolls, and he's a friend of mine, and a lot of the other YouTube channels out there. So
Yeah.
so
I've
October
seen him
20.
on several of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, I run across him many times. So October 24th and 25th at the Knoxville Airport, which if you're looking to buy tickets, airline tickets to fly into Knoxville, it's TYS, it's Tyson McGee
Yeah.
Airport. So
Yeah. Yeah.
TYS is the airport code. And the
And
hotel is right there. Although there's lots of other places in the area to stay
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Because it's close to the airport, there's a huge number of other places to stay.
Yeah.
Um, the, what was I going to say? I've forgotten now. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I don't guess. I'll think of it later.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, well, there's lots to do too. So
Yeah,
if you want to make a family trip of it, that's peak coming up right near the peak fall
yeah,
season too, isn't it? Peak
yeah.
colors.
Heat colors. That's one of the reasons that I picked that date was the second to the last and last week of October are supposed to be right around peak colors. Of course, that depends on how much rain we get and that sort of
Well,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, as far as we can tell, that should be peak colors. And last couple of years they've been pretty decent.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, you won't have to go far to see them. You step out of the main. Heck, if you're just sitting in the vendor area, it's a big open glass. The whole front of the building's a big glass window, so you can see the mountains from there.
Well, I can see the
Yeah.
mountains when I drive down the street
Oh
to the
yeah,
gas
yeah, yeah,
station. So,
yeah. I
and
mean, I live on top of a ridge, so
yeah,
I've got
right.
quite a view.
It's amazing. So in my from my house, I can't see the mountains. But
Yeah,
if I go to the gas station or the grocery store or Walmart or whatever, I see them. So
yeah,
it's kind of a unique thing. But because of those mountains, we are blessed with a bit of a tourism thing. So there's lots of things over in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge for folks to go see besides DarkCon.
yeah, yeah.
So
If you're trying to sell your wife on the trip,
yep.
basically, it's
Oh,
like
I
here,
suppose,
go
or your husband.
or
I
your
mean,
husband. Yeah,
yeah,
depending on what your situation is, it's like here, go take the kids to Ripley's Aquarium or Dollywood or the Titanic thing or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's lots of places, some good places to eat out there.
Yeah,
And of course, the airport is technically in Alcoa, which is right near Marville.
Maryville. Yeah,
Well,
right near Maryville.
yeah, they say Marville, but it
Yeah,
looks like Maryville to all you Yankees.
yeah. But it's
Uh,
kind of like Maryland, it's Maryland. Here it's Maryville. So
yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of stuff to do there, especially in downtown
yeah,
Marville and whatnot. We've got the Tail of the Dragon. If for those of you that are uh,
like to
motorcycle
ride.
enthusiasts and stuff like that, if you like
Yeah,
to ride, we're like not too far from it.
looks like we got another one in Flint Fire Forge.
Yeah. Hey, Flint, how you doing? I guess I could show the chat here. Let me turn that on.
Yeah, yeah. I tried. I don't know what it was. I guess it was because I was just in the our little shared area here. I couldn't interact with the chat last time, so I just pulled it up on my phone this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you can't react with the chat, interact with the chat in Restream.
Yeah, you gotta go on to YouTube to do it, or Rumble or wherever else you're
Yeah,
streaming
there's
to.
a reason why I have four monitors, and I think I need about four more. So, let's see. What did we got? What's happening? Now that I got this popped up, I can bring these in. What's happening?
Yeah.
And
Oh, did
Agile said, Chris, great to see you. What is Agile? Agile, don't forget what? What is he talking about? Don't forget.
yeah. I'll have to have him refresh me on that. What am I? What has slipped my mind?
But who knows? Who knows? Um, we may have somebody else joining us depending on what time he gets home. One of my new minions uh, that I've added to the chat. We folks that live in IT or related. Oh yes, yes. We never have enough monitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. um, and speaking of Dan, he was great help the other night on this last minute stream. Found gaming Airbnb in Madison. Oh man, seriously? Okay, so I know where Madison is, cause yeah, I might have to depending on the price, I might have to book that one uh for next August, not this
That's
August.
something my wife and I had thought about for years. Although now that oh, what is it called? The Ancient Lore Village built their thing. It's kind of stole the thunder on that. But we've got a hilly field out here behind the house,
Yeah,
and I was thinking we could buy some of those Hobbit House kits
yeah,
and bury them out there, and have a little uh, Airbnb Hobbit thing. But
that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, you do that. You know how to get a hold of me. Flint's a good guy. I've had him on the show before, on the Bad News Bards. So that's
yeah,
kind of cool.
I don't. I'll go ahead and repeat since I don't believe Flint was on yet. Before you got on, Flint, we were talking about Chubby Funster is going to be a guest at DarkCon, and he's going to be running. He's going to do a panel. He's going to be running 4 games, and he's going to be one of the big things is he's redone or is in the process of redoing his Shadow Sun, his
Yeah,
Shadow Dark version of Dark Sun,
yeah.
and he's going to be giving away 100 hard copies.
Of the
And I
new one.
believe it is a hardcover book um, to the first 100 people who book for the
The
full two
weekend.
days.
Yeah, yeah. That is awesome news.
Yeah,
And I can't wait to get him on. So tell us some more about uh, what do you love so much about Dark Sun? I mean,
yeah. Me personally, I've always been a big fan of just the kind of the hardcore pulls no punches type of fantasy.
hmm
Even as a kid, I loved Conan stuff and that sort of thing. Anything that was super hardcore. Uh, I loved a lot of the a lot of the. Um, I've got the wrong word in my head in the way I'm thinking references, but a lot of the influences to
hmm
it. Like I loved Dune, and I know a lot of people hate the '84 movie, but that's one of my favorite movies.
I like the '84
Lynch's
movie.
Lynch's Dune, I love that. Uh, but So there's a lot of the stuff that before I ever knew about it, it appealed to me.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, once I got into it, it was I hadn't really played that much before. As a matter of fact, I'd only played once before the first time that I ever played Dark Sun, and it was when we did. There was a guy I was working at a Boy Scout camp. There was a guy who was running it,
hmm
and I think we ran over the course of the summer. We ran about 8 different different sessions. Just kind of there was an area that where we had like 15 or 16 little cabins that were big enough for like 2 bunks and a desk or something. We'd all pile into somebody's cabin and play. But so I played like 8 of those, and then I went home and I had a cousin who was a couple of years younger than I was, who was living with us at the time, and he was my first player. And for the most part, for the first month and a half or so, I just played off of memory and what I had on the character sheets that I'd brought home with me.
Yeah.
And then we got a player's handbook and we got a couple other things. And over the next year, got collected. But that, and then just like I mean, you look at the Gerald Brom covers, they just grab you. They grab you by the nose and won't let you go. I've just been addicted to it ever since summer of '92. So
Summer of '92. What was I doing in '92? Oh, I was stuck in. I think that's. I was went. I think that's the year I moved. Tried moving to Ohio. I tried. Tried several times to escape Florida, and let's see. One of them. I tried moving to Ohio. I think that was in '92, and I was up there. I was the only one of us that got a job, or that kept the job. um, I worked at. This was in Columbus, Ohio. I worked at the City Center Mall at the was it no, Electronics Boutique. What was it? No, not GameStop. GameStop didn't exist then. Anyway, it was a little software store that was inside of like a bookstore thing. It was affiliated with one of the bookstore chains. and I did that job for 3 months. It was pretty awesome because we could check out games and then re-shrink wrap them.
Yeah.
So can you believe that? that was
Yeah.
that was the day. I mean, we're talking about this is back in the day when you had floppies, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I
But
had one of my favorite jobs ever. I worked at a if for anybody who was ever local around here, there was a store called the Game Board, and the front half of it was normal game stuff. It had Parcheesi and
Monopoly and
Monopoly
yeah,
and Millborn and puzzles and all that. But the back half of it was all kinds of role playing games. They had D&D and White Wolf, and like the entire back wall was minis, and
that's cool.
but they had a little bit of everything in there when it came to that. Then Legends of the Five Rings,
Yeah.
GURPS, all kinds of stuff. There were
Where were they at?
they were in pretty much all the malls in the East Tennessee area. So they eventually were anyway. They had their first one was in Easttown, which is now no longer there. They tore it down and turned the area into a FedEx hub. Uh,
Okay. I was gonna say
uh,
one of the malls didn't it become an Amazon
yeah,
distribution
that's what I'm
center?
talking about. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they had one in Westtown Mall, and I think still make, but they're the ones that I was saying they eventually became in like '96. They became their own distributor because they got tired of being jerked around by the distributors, and
Yeah.
then they bought out Sci-Fi City, and then they changed their name to Sci-Fi City up here too. So, because
That's
I know
cool.
Sci-Fi City started out down in Florida, but they bought them out in like '96 or '97, and maybe '98, and I think they kept them open down there, but then they changed all the names of all their stores up here to Sci-Fi City as well.
So
So the one
so
that you see out there on
I'll go up there
on
all the time.
Broadway
Yeah.
is I think the last remnant of that
That's
that's still left.
yeah, they're in Fountain City.
Yeah,
Um the old city. So part of it's been absorbed into Knoxville and they're still griping about it. Um
yeah,
and I don't blame them either. I wouldn't want to be part of the city limits if I could help it.
yeah, yeah.
Um
When they were their own little community for so long. Yeah,
you've been to Sci-Fi City, Flint. Which one? Because there was three at one time. Because they had the one that's there next to Masonic Lodge. And then of course there was the one in Orlando, which was in two different places at one time. And I could tell you the history of that place because I grew up going to Enterprise 1701, which was by the Navy base on Careen Drive in Orlando, the Orlando Naval Training Center. Um,
the Orlando one.
you've been to the Orlando one, okay? So, so the one in Orlando, it's a basically a shopping center that's anchored by a oh who it's the orange people Home Depot. The orange people, Home
It's
Depot.
like Trump. He's like that's person, not people.
Yeah, I know. Home Depot, and um, there's like a little strip mall, and then there's like a separate building. I think it used to be like a pet pet store or something like that. It was a big building, like a place where you could get grooming done, and then like had like a pet supermarket or something like that type of thing. And then like I said, a strip mall. So when they first moved off of Careen Drive and they moved into this other building, they became Enterprise 1701 presents Sci-Fi City, and because they just didn't want to give up the Enterprise 1701 name because that was the connection historically, and then eventually that they just kind of dropped that, and I don't know if their rent was too expensive in that one building, but they moved to, or they wanted to be in their own building because on this in the same parking lot was that other building that I think, like I said, used to be something else. Actually, it was over by a pet store, so maybe it was a pet groomers or something. At any rate, they moved into that building, and I had been there a few times. I've still probably got some stuff with the sticker on them from there. I think some of the Pathfinder stuff that I bought there before I left Orlando. And last I heard, I think I don't know, they changed their name. They kind of disassociated themselves anymore. they left the franchise. Apparently, there was one up in Cincinnati as well, and the
Hmm.
one up in Cincinnati closed. I think it fell to the demise of the mall closures.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, like I was saying with the before when up here Game Board was still the Game Board, they had 4 or 5 places. They had
yeah,
East Town Mall, West Town Mall, Oak Ridge Mall. Of course, the only one of those malls that's still around is West Town, and
yeah.
they had at least one other location. I can't remember where it was. And then when East Town closed down, I think they closed down their one in West Town and just moved out there to
I'll have to go back up to Westtown because I saw something on the news the other day where they were talking about Westtown Mall um, having a rush of business. They're like all of a
hmm,
sudden a lot of
everybody's hitting
stores
high.
open up. Maybe it's the retro nostalgia of us
Maybe
Gen Xers that were like, hey man, I lived
don't
in the
kill our
mall.
malls. Yeah,
Yeah, don't kill our malls. A bunch of
yeah,
them already closed. A bunch of the Simon malls in Florida. I remember seeing a commercial back in Orlando when they were building the mall in they had this little theme that said it's a new mall, it's a new mall, and now
yeah,
that mall has been basically torn down, and
yeah,
so I remember seeing the entire life cycle of several malls, and it's really kind of sad.
yeah,
Um, hey, what's up, man? Driving in Dragons. I was catching some of the show with Double D earlier today. That was kind of cool. Seeing you and a bunch of folks I know. So, any
yeah.
rate,
He was having one of those Condor sucks videos today, wasn't
he was yeah, they were yeah, it looked like Condor has been dishing out
he? Yeah,
his fortune cookie advice or something like that. So, well, more power to him. But I think it's funny. So some of it will look like it definitely looked like it was some AI generated drivel in some cases. So
yeah. I'm not fond of that part of the programming.
yeah,
The cringe stuff. It's like okay, I've got to if you limit it to 4 or 5 minutes, that's okay. But a whole hour and a half of that or whatever, that's a little too much for me.
yeah. Well, and and to each their own too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
Um.
saying I'm trying to tell him how to do his channel. I'm just saying, you
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
I'll
Well, double
watch his other stuff.
yeah, double D does some great stuff. He's
Yeah,
done
he
he's
does.
done some awesome videos on some of the different things, and he loves exploring. We had a great conversation. I had him on the show on my Bad News Bard show
Yeah. What
uh,
about a month ago?
a month or two ago.
Yeah,
And he is supposed to be up in CNYCon. I'm going to be up at CNYCon, so we're going to have to, I guess I'm going to have to take some promotional stuff for DarkCon up there with me, huh?
yeah.
Got a couple of
Actually,
things.
I had a fella ask me to print out handbills that he said he'd hand out for me
Where at?
at Origins.
At Origins? Okay. Now
Yeah, he
Origins
asked me.
is in I believe Columbus
June.
or Dayton. It's one of the
Yeah,
two.
yeah. He asked me to print out about 100 of them and give him a PDF just in case he ran out, so he
Okay.
could print out some more. I was like, all right, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm we're going up in June to CNYCon. So yeah, we give
Yeah,
me some. I'll make sure that we've got some there for Roger.
yeah,
That's Roger Rebus's convention,
yeah.
and I'll be at that one. I'll be at DarkCon. I think I kind of am obligated. So
Yeah, just so all these guys in the chat will have somebody they know to come talk to, huh?
well, yeah. Hey,
Aside from
uh,
whoever growed up with them.
Agile Monk is always watching. Agile Monk is on the job. Agile Monk is. I'm going to turn Agile Monk into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah,
or Thundercats,
the Thundercats. Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Um, but anyway, all right. So, we got any questions in the chat? Anybody interested in knowing what's going on? Where we have some questions for Chris?
yeah,
We're just kind of doing a laid back. As I said, just shooting the silt, man.
yeah. Yeah, I can answer anything from just general questions about myself to questions about the con to if you're just curious about something Dark Sun related. I've got all around me. You can't really see it because most of it's here and here because I use it on a daily basis. But I've got stuff that I can look up answers to canon questions, which I know is probably not high on your list of things to talk about, but I do have that as a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't actually have any Dark Sun material. I probably need to get my hands on some. Problem is, of course, I went hard and heavy into the Forgotten Realms uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, universe, and so I have a lot of stuff from Faerun.
Yeah,
I've got third 3.5 stuff. I lost a lot of my third edition stuff, which really makes me mad because I had some great stuff. What did they have? How was Dark Sun done with third edition? Because I know you like second edition
they didn't
AD&D.
have an official third edition release.
They didn't.
There's a group that calls themselves uh, Dark Sun, well, at darksun.com.
Yeah,
And they mainly do third edition, although they're doing other stuff now too.
yeah.
And they did, back in the day, they did 10 or 15 different little short things. Some of them were where they had like met some of the original creators at cons and stuff and had talked them into releasing, hey, can you give me the files for this, for something that they were thinking about doing, and they kind of finished it up or something. So that's not official canon, but it's the closest that you'll get to third edition Dark Sun.
Okay, okay. Because
And then they did a fourth edition Dark Sun, which eviscerated it, but that's fourth edition for you. Because it was a change the setting to fit the system instead of change the system to fit the setting.
well, I make no bones about it. I am on the 4E hater train.
Yeah,
I find zero value in it.
yeah.
I tried it. We played about a half a session, and I'm like, my wife, I was
Right up
running,
and
and my
stormed
wife,
out. I'm out of here. This is bullshit.
yeah, well, no, literally, it felt like I'm like, why am I? If I want to play World of Warcraft, I've
Yeah,
got my computer back over
yeah.
there. I just go
This
play
is
World
just
of Warcraft.
World of
This is
Warcraft slow
with
motion. Yeah,
dice, and I'm like, I don't. That's not what I want. It totally lost the feeling of. I don't even, to be honest, I don't consider fourth edition to actually be D&D.
yeah,
It's some other
yeah,
game. Some people like it. It's some tactical
yeah,
minis game,
yeah. You might
and
as well say that it's like. Hang on, let's see if I can see it. Yeah, right there.
in fact, I've argued that it should be called D&D Tactics or something like
Yeah,
that. I said that back then, but
you
I
might
said
as
that
well
this
say
is
that it's about the same thing as this,
you know what? That's probably not far from where they went
which
off
was
of.
a skirmish and medium-sized battles thing for
Yeah,
AD&D in second edition. But to answer Flint's
Flint's.
question,
Yeah,
I have not yet. It's still far enough out that I haven't talked to anybody except for the people who arrange the tables. So because I've still got to, if anybody, that's one thing I do want to ask people. If anybody who is coming up from out of town is planning on staying in the hotel, if I can get a yes, I'd like to stay in the hotel from a number of people so that I can go and talk to them and say, I've got at least this many people that say they're interested in staying at the hotel, because they did tell me that
you
they'd
get a
cut me a
block.
deal, but it would depend on how many people were coming.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know. I think Roger was telling me the way that the hotel up there did, and of course they're not at an airport, so it's not an
Mm-hmm.
airport hotel up where we're going for CNY. That they they segment out some blocks of rooms for the events, and then if you need more, they got to those blocks will sell out. They'll give you like a code that gives you maybe like a discount code because you're
Yeah.
selling certain ones, and then as more blocks are needed, as the organizer, you'll have to get those going and
Arrange
stuff like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah. You
that's,
may say, "Oh, we ran out of blocks. Can we get another block?" And
yeah,
eventually you're going to run out of the ability to get blocks because depending on how
because
many
they'll just be
folks.
sold out on the rooms. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was they had mentioned something similar to that when I talked to them first time. But the lady who I was talking to, who arranges the hall and all, she said, we do this part, we do the hall, we do the food, but when it comes to people wanting to book rooms, that's a different. I'll have
Yeah.
to hook you up with so and so upstairs on that. So I
Yeah.
just haven't gotten back to them on talking, since I was still far enough away that I had no clue how many people were going to be interested in it.
Yeah, and
So
we are talking October, so it's just now April.
yeah,
Well, April's almost over. I mean, we're on the what, the
yeah,
18th?
we're still not to that point in April that it is in October. So you
Yeah,
could still say that it's what,
6 months
May,
away.
June, July. Yeah, still like 6 months out.
Yeah.
So
Flint is asking everybody in the chat to give your best Dark Sun themed drinks. Our guest last week, he said no, you can't drink. You're not in an oasis.
yeah, I would say something. If I were to come up with one, it would be something mead based, and say that it's broy, which is fermented cank nectar.
Okay. Uh, he says his would be a halfling Rita. Comes with a finger to start.
So Bloody Mary type thing. That's halfling.
Heaven forbid if we do a Dragonlance themed one, huh, Flint?
Yeah,
What are you gonna have? The Kinder's something or other. I had no idea. Somehow I missed out on reading a lot of the D&D books back in the 80s.
yeah,
Um, and I was more in the sci-fi stuff. I was reading Dune and stuff like that.
yeah,
So it's interesting that I get a kick out of it every time you say, oh well, Dune is kind of, I read Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, stuff like that.
yeah.
But my eighth grade book report was on Dune, and the teacher, I remember when I said, yeah, I want to do it on Dune,
And they
and
were
she's
kind of
like, are you sure?
like, you realize that book's like this thick, right?
It's only like 800 pages and has its own dictionary in the back.
Yeah,
Um, but I really enjoyed reading it, and um, I would read, and I learned how to read contextually, so I could figure out what most of the words did, and
yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
got a kick out
Context
of.
clues is how I get a lot of my
Yeah,
stuff too.
yeah, and so I would read that, and I'd see this word. I'm like, okay, I think it means this, and then I would flip to the back and go, oh yeah, and most of the time I was right.
Yeah, and if
So
not right, at least close. Yeah,
close, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, um, but the setting is pretty awesome. Coke and Kender, that's funny. I saw that. Where is that? Half ring it. Let's see what else we got. Coke and Kinder. Here's that one. Right before you drink it, it's snatched from your hand. Oh, hey, how'd I wind up with this? I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But I've been reading the Dragonlance Chronicles. That's what I'm in the middle of now. So I had no idea where Flint's name came from.
yeah. Didn't know that it was.
I knew vaguely about Dragonlance back in the days when I had a
Yeah,
BBS. I had a Raceland, and he had a brother, and I think his brother actually had that character's name as well, and they were both BBS users. Raceland was a lot more active. God, I wish I could remember his real name now. But that was the BBS days, and so I'm like, oh, okay, that's Dragonlance, and they were like, I didn't realize they were really into Dragonlance. I should have made the connection, but at any rate, but I know the people that love Dark Sun are very passionate about it. Obviously, I've
yeah,
known you. Uh, what what do you think sets it aside? Is it the post-apocalyptic, but it kind of in a magic way, or what is it that makes it so unique?
yeah. Like you said, you don't run into post-apocalyptic fantasy that is like that so much. And I do just like in general post-apocalyptic stuff. Like you talk about, like say in video games, Fallout. It's
Yeah,
cool. It's fun. It's the and it. I would say most men have fantasy in their head about like what it would be like if something broke down and we had to, and all of this stupid stuff,
Technology.
all the stuff they talk about in the song Anima was gone, and we had to learn to swim. But and you just kind of had the survival fantasy, and that's kind of where this is at. It's like it's and you know how we talked about in the last show how overcoming long odds makes for great stories. Well, there's always great stories from this, and some of them are because the group was pitted against something that was just a tough nut to crack, and some of them are like my friend Alex, who you met. His main character, who's a defiler, one time he had teleport as a wild talent, and one time he fell off 1,000-foot cliff 3 times before they finally were like, "Stop! We'll come to you." He was standing at the edge of a rain-soaked cliff up in the mountains, and he kept trying to move and kept failing saving throws and kept teleporting himself back up to the top of the cliff before he hit, and
Uh,
finally was like, "All right, you don't have enough PSPs to do that again. You don't have enough Sonic strength points to do that again." And the
yeah.
whole rest of the party he's like, and they were like, "Stop! We'll come to you." They went down, tied a rope around his waist, and drug him up off the edge of the cliff.
Okay. So Agile wanted to know if you've ever played Aftermath by Fantasy Games Unlimited.
Can't say that I have.
He says
Can't say that
apparently
I have.
it's an excellent thing. And Driving Dragons, he's like, that's not exactly what Maynard meant by learn to swim.
Yeah.
So that's got to mean something
Well,
to you. Explain it
yeah.
to me, because like I said, I'm not.
Well, what I meant by that was just all the stupid, as he says in the things, all the stupid shit, just all the first world problems, getting rid of all of them. But we're talking about the song Anima by Tool.
Okay.
Are you
Oh,
familiar with that at all?
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that Maynard.
That
Duh.
Maynard, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maynard G. Cribs. No,
Yeah, Gilligan.
different Maynard.
That's what the G
Yeah.
stands for.
Yeah.
I saw that. The return of Dobie Gillis, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where uh, Maynard G. Krebs, everybody, he. Oh yeah, I went on a 3-hour tour for 8 years.
Yeah.
But okay, I, I have some buddies that are into Tool. I can take Tool in small amounts.
Mhm.
Uh, it can be very depressing music
Yeah.
sometimes.
I gotta say, I'm not wild about their deep cuts, but I like 3 or 4 of their songs really well.
Yeah,
I'm not a hardcore Tool fan by any measure, but there are 4 or 5 of their songs, and yeah, they're the ones that have music videos for the most part that are just like really cool, like Sober and Anima and The Pot
hmm
and 2 or 3 others that I really enjoy. But you get into the deep cuts a little much, and I'm like, yeah, that's not really doing it for me.
yeah, yeah. Myself, I'm more of a Maiden, Megadeth. I call them the 3 M's: Metallica, Megadeth, and
And
Maiden.
Maiden, yeah,
Yeah. So, um, but uh, but yeah, he does. You're not wrong. Yeah, yeah. Very Dark Sun appropriate. I could see that. I could see that because Tool is kind of a darker,
yeah.
theme. I don't know. There's a couple of songs I could think of by Megadeth that would probably fit the theme too.
Well, my cousin, my first player, he's got a character. He was like 16 when we first started playing, and he
hmm
was kind of a X-Men fan, and this was in the 90s before the movies. His favorite character was Beast, so he wanted to try to get a character that was like Beast. So I let him go to a place that if you bleed there, you mutate. A place called the Pristine Tower, and I
Okay.
allowed him to be Beast. His first character. I figured I'd let him have some fun with it. Uh, but he eventually got up to 22nd level gladiator, and I told him that his theme song was "Take No Prisoners, Take No Shit," you know,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
Megadeth.
Oh yeah. 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 Uh, Maybe that's got some great stuff, folks. If you have any questions for Chris, bring him on, man. He's willing to answer anything. And if you're catching this after the fact, leave them in the comments below, and we'll go through and he'll try and answer them after that as well. And
Yeah,
and
I'll be looking at the comments for 2 or 3 days after this at least.
yeah, yeah.
Excuse me.
And we still got the first episode up there, and we had an excellent guest on that who's going to be trying to break some records.
Oh yeah, we hadn't talked about that yet, have we?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and bring him up, because if you missed the last episode, the first issue, he's awesome. So
I'm blank. Give me a second. I'm blanking on his last name. Jason. Well, for now, I'll just say
just
Jason.
Jason.
Yeah, I'll just say Jason. He's going to DM 4 different regular sessions that'll start out low level, and then he's going to make his kind of each one's going to get higher level, although they're not necessarily continuation.
Hmm.
To where the last one he's going to be running in like the high teens or low 20s, I think.
Yeah.
But the big thing he's planning on doing, since we're going to have like a morning session and an afternoon session, but we've got the hall until midnight after the afternoon session, probably Saturday, he's planning on trying to break a world record and have as many people as he can get. If he can get 100 plus to play in an arena game where
Right.
you're all basically gladiators in an arena. And I don't know exactly how he's going to run it, as far as how he's going to keep track and how much individual attention each person's going to get on that. I imagine he's going to have to simplify the rules a bit. Just when you got that many people, it'd be hard to have everybody doing every little, have access to the minutia. But he's planning on over a 3 or 4 hour period, 4 or 5 hour period, running a series of not just gladiator matches where you're getting killed is the way, or not getting killed is the way you survive, but also stuff that are other kinds of gladiator games.
Hmm.
He didn't specify, but I know the Complete Gladiator's Handbook has several different kinds of games. There are like team games that are kind of like capture the flag. There are arenas where parts of the floor can be raised and you can be in a maze. There's all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm assuming that some of that will be things like that, where it's not just kill or be killed, although there will be the opportunity for that.
Hmm.
There will be games inside of the game there
That's
too.
going to be kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's a smart guy.
yeah,
He
yeah.
is
If
a professional pilot.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Talking to him, I think if anybody can pull it off, he should be able to pull it
yeah,
off, and that'll be really neat. He was saying something about having talked to the Guinness people, so I
yeah.
don't know if he plans on having an official observer there to record it. I know that I plan on having some cameras there to record just in
Yeah.
general, but
I'll
that in
be
particular, just
well,
so that,
and I'll be there too with cameras
yeah,
and stuff, and because
just
I'll have footage to show on the
yeah,
programs
like you
and stuff
said.
like
So
that.
we'll have footage for the people who weren't able to make it. They can see at least what went on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's gonna be fun. Man, that would actually be something excellent that we might want to record the whole. How
Yeah.
many hours do you think it'll be?
Well, I guess it kind of depends. I got to get with him. We were talking about doing a 2 hour lunch break between the sessions so that
Hmm.
everybody has a chance to go out, and if they want to go to a sit down restaurant, has a chance to go to a sit down restaurant. Although there is a restaurant in the hotel, I don't know what their capacity is.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, you and I
the
you and I had talked about that, because I'm like, I don't know if having a 45-minute or an hour
or an
break in
hour.
between is
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
for people to
yeah,
actually filter out. Because not everybody's game is going to finish at the same time. Some
yeah,
might run a little long, and then they
yeah,
only have 30, 40 minutes to go.
yeah, yeah.
That's not
But
gonna be enough time.
like I said, we'll probably run 8 to noon for the morning, and then say 1400 to 1800, so 2 to 6 in the afternoon, and then probably within a few minutes of the last one closing, maybe a half an hour of the last one closing out, the 6 o'clock or maybe 7 o'clock. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him, and it'll kind of depend on how much table moving around we've got to do and that kind of stuff.
Well,
But
and we
maybe
are going to have some vendors there too, right? We're
yeah,
looking to
yeah. There'll
have
be
at
vendors,
least.
but they'll be in the
Yeah.
next room. That you'll
Okay.
be able to see them because there's going to be. Um,
Partition wall that's going to be open.
yeah,
Is it
I
there?
don't know if you saw it. I sent you the
Yeah, yeah,
map,
yeah, yeah.
but there's going to be the main hall, the main gaming hall, and
Right.
then there's like half the lobby that is where the vendors are going to be,
Hmm.
and in between that they've got a wall that basically they can move the entire wall. They can lift it up like a garage door, I think, and so there's going to be like a 25-foot wide, 10-foot, 12-foot tall space there between the two, so you'll be able to see the vendors and all that. But yeah, the vendors will be there, just outside the gaming area,
Oh, that's awesome. That's
but
awesome.
just a few feet away.
And we're talking what, maybe a dozen vendors right now? Is that what we're looking
Uh,
at? How many?
yeah,
How much we
I've
got
got
room for?
tables enough for 10,
Okay.
for 10 different vendors.
Yeah.
That's another thing. If anybody knows a vendor that you have contact with, go ahead and send them my way. I've still got some space for vendors. Um,
And we've got the links that are popping through in the chat there.
yeah,
If you're catching it on a replay,
yeah,
you can watch it.
yeah.
You can
I
select the links from
think
the chat. If not, let me pop up the QR codes for you.
yeah,
If you're looking at being a vendor, there's a QR code that'll take you there.
yeah.
Um,
And
it,
for anybody looking at that, if you if you've got anything, it can be just general D&D stuff, but this is going to be a highly concentrated group of Dark Sun fans. So if you've got stuff that has that sort of feel, stuff that's, I don't know, even dice that are black with red numbers, you could say they were obsidian dice, something like that,
well,
or
I
bone
think
dice, that
I
sort of
think
thing.
I think dice would definitely be something that a dice vendor.
Yeah, because I
Maybe
don't
one of the.
believe I've got one of those yet. I've got a couple of people who are selling their stuff. Like Chubby's going to have
Yeah.
a table, and I guess either his wife or somebody who he brings with him will probably run that since he's going to be running games. But
Okay.
so there's going to be at least two uh, uh, people selling their like old school
Right.
Renaissance type stuff.
Okay. If you're interested in DMing a game, you want to run one. This is a QR code for that. You can run a Dark
Mhm.
Sun game. Or if you wanted to run a Shadow Sun game, I guess that would be
Yeah,
okay too.
yeah. It doesn't have to be second edition, as long as it is Dark Sun or very near Dark Sun adjacent. Because there was like a guy who was going to run um, the what's it called, Dragon King's game now, which was a basically Tim Brown was one of the two Dark Sun original Dark Sun creators, and after Watsy got a hold of everything, they wouldn't sell him the rights. So he came up with his
No.
own. It's basically Dark Sun with the serial number filed off of it,
Okay.
and he calls
Okay.
it he calls it Dragon Kings. The only
That would
problem
be.
is that can confuse some people because there is this it? Eh, yeah, there is already a book that he wrote for Dark Sun called Dragon Kings,
Yeah.
but it's not that. It's something different. Uh, and it's basically Dark Sun adjacent enough that I was like, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and bring that to the con.
And then.
So, but yeah, if you want to, you can run it in any system you want to run it. Of course,
Right.
there's going to be a lot of guys who haven't been able to play 2E since back in the '90s. So I want to have some of that there at least, so that they can be like, oh yeah, I get to scratch that itch that I haven't been able to scratch in 30 years. But
Yeah, and then of course here's the code just to sign up. So right now badges are not on sale yet. So you're trying to get everybody that's interested Just follow the links, fill out the questionnaires. Chris will he'll be taking that, and then once the badges are on sale, because we're still looking at a couple of ways.
Mhm.
Right, you're not necessarily sure if you're going to use tabletop events. You and I were talking about some
Yeah.
other stuff this morning.
Yeah. I
Um,
actually spoke to, well, I didn't speak to him. I got him on Messenger, the one of our other options,
mhm,
and he's still not absolutely certain that he'll be good by June. So may go with that other option you're talking about. That changes the calculus a little bit on the number of people
yeah.
for that I'll need to show up, but hopefully that won't be a big issue.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the actual scheduling of it, I can just do that like I'm doing this. I can do that as with a Google form or something, and then
Yeah.
just do it myself. I don't have to have a computer do that for
Well,
me.
well, well, well we have a buddy who may or may not. I don't think he's going to make it tonight, but he and I are both IT guys, and so we might be able to come up with a solution too. Um, but
Yeah, yeah, Conuga being that close, that's not a bad idea,
yeah,
Flint. I've been putting up requests on various vendor forums on Facebook anyway, and I know that
now did
when it comes to
Canuga?
getting the word
Did
out,
they?
Facebook sucks anymore.
I have to look about Canuga because I thought that they canceled this year because they lost the venue that they were at or something like that.
Yeah, I think somebody said something about that. I know they were a few years ago. They were like at the Chattanooga Choo Choo thing, weren't they?
I don't know. I
I
haven't
don't know.
been to,
I've never been.
and
I
and I-
just
and I'm a lot closer to Chattanooga than you are down here. I'm about as far away from Chattanooga as I am from you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
Since
on
I'm on the north end of Knoxville.
you're on the north end of Knoxville, and I'm not even in. My county. I could be in North Carolina in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Did you were asking about the rain? It's been raining here for about a half an hour now. Has it hit you yet?
I
Or do you
I don't
know? I
I
know
don't
you're in the
think so.
basement.
It's so weird because a lot of times it'll move to the north. They moved it, not cancel it. He said, okay, because I had seen something about them losing the venue. They were that I think it's being redone, and I know that's exactly what happened to the Rocky Top Game Con.
Yeah.
Of course, that's more of a Warhammer themed um,
So they
Warhammer,
didn't.
and
Did they just decide they didn't want to go to the Jacobs building again?
so the Jacobs Building is becoming a museum.
Oh, so they're not going to do cons there anymore.
They're not going to do much of anything there anymore. I think it's going to be a children's museum or something like that. So
In the worst part of town. Of course, the zoo's down there too. So
I think that might be because and they're also talking about expanding it and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
but the illustrious mayor of Knoxville
yeah,
not a bright one. But now the Knox County mayor, he's awesome.
yeah.
He's
Jokes
former
on
former superstar WWE wrestler Kane is
yeah,
the Knox County mayor, at least up
yeah.
until the elections come up here, because I think he's termed out, isn't he? I,
He's been the mayor for a while. Yeah, because I
yeah.
know he was the mayor back in 2018, 2019. I think I remember him being the mayor.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was the mayor when I
2019.
moved here. Yeah,
Yeah,
in 2020.
because I went to Kosovo. I was deployed there, and I remember there was when the whole, to not get too terribly political, but when the whole, the summer of love was going on, I remember
Oh
seeing a
yeah,
video somebody sent me around here where there
yeah.
was like this one guy and this girl was using her phone to record him, and he was like, "Oh, watch this, watch this," and he went and knocked a planter over, like a that was out on the street, and the
Ooh,
cops
I'm
had
bad. I knocked a planner
yeah,
over.
yeah, and the cops had them on their bellies like that, and the girl who had the phone went from being the, ooh, I'm a badass to, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and I was like,
Yeah,
there you go, Glenn, show them how it is,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. But
don't put up with
any
them.
a- any rate, we are talking things. So Flint, I'm gonna have to look into that. Remind me, don't let me forget, because that's close enough for me to go, and I can do that and drive down there without having to stay anywhere because I live.
Yeah, yeah. I
You know,
need to go to more cons. I just right now it's either do the stuff that I need to do to prepare for this con or have the money to go to another con. But I need to do more con for just research because
Right.
I've only been to 3
Big.
gaming cons. Now I've
Yeah.
been a vendor at 4 or 5 uh, um, pop culture conventions,
Yeah.
which are very different. You know,
Yeah. Well, I think
it's
I
another
think there's
package.
one going on this weekend down in, is that Huntsville, that has the pop culture
Yeah,
gaming expo going on right now. So
because I've done the fanboy like 3 times, and then this other one that I think only caught on one time, and I guess they didn't make enough money, so they didn't do it. It was
yeah.
called Marble City Con, but I wasn't. My stuff wasn't right for that. You know, that was more the comic book anime crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, that was aside from a few things that they did, like some panels and uh, costume contest, and then having celebrity guests. It was pretty much the vendor room was pretty much the thing, you know. At those,
yeah.
people just go and make laps around the vendor room.
Yeah. And of course, I'm working on one myself that is going to be probably a different time of the year. And I already got that in the works. Of course, you know about that. A little bit of,
Hmm.
you're gonna help me out with this. I'm gonna help you out with this. So we're gonna we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
we're
think
gonna
we
do
can
it.
get a good synergy going there.
Yeah, Flint's gonna come to both, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I have to look and see
yeah.
if
Flint's saying that he just got back from the one at
how
Huntsville.
big game room. Okay, so I know that there was supposed to be some people running CNC down there too, and of course I'm a big Castles and Crusades fan. Um, Interesting. I wonder if there's any Dark Sun themed stuff for CNC. I suppose theoretically you could just use what of the Dark Sun material and use CNC for it
Yeah, I'd
because
say there. That's one thing that it seems that some of the people on at least the main Dark Sun Facebook group, some of
mhm.
them it's just like their hobby is to try to convert it to different things. You know, so you hear them talking about Lamentations of the Flame Princess. You hear them talking about this
I'm
and that
I'm
and the
I'm
other.
in a game
But
that Monday.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
Lamentations
usually
game.
they usually start out with 5e trying to convert it to that, and they
No,
never can
don't
quite
bother.
get it right. But then they move on to, oh well, I've done this. Well, now let me try this one and let me try that one. I'll try GURPS. I'll try. You know.
I'll have to check and see if we can find. If anybody knows, let me know. If anybody's aware of somebody that's doing that has a CNC Dark Sun themed setting or adventure, I might be able to run one of them.
Not
That
be
would
able
be
to run
kind of,
that. Yeah.
yeah, because I love CNC and um, and theoretically, like I said, you should be able to run. You should literally be able to take any second edition AD&D uh, 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 Dark Sun stuff and run it just straight up in CNC
Yeah.
without
Now
any
I
conversion.
will tell you that if it's not already done, it might take a little conversion because there's a 96-page rule book that is this is what's different from standard second edition in Dark Sun.
Yeah,
Where, but it's mainly character stuff. You know, so it's mainly the way the races are different, the way the classes are different, extra non-weapon proficiency, stuff like that.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's
So you
cool.
could probably, as long as you know the races and classes, you could get over it. I've got a video if you wanted to watch that could give you an idea on that called what is it? A novice player's introduction to Dark Sun or something to that effect. I made it 2 or 3 years ago, but on my channel, that's my name, just Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah. Flint says OSR is woefully unrepresented doing a live video Monday night to talk about it. And the sad thing is that it is, and yet I think it's the fastest growing group. Um, because
Yeah,
I think 5.5e is already a flop.
yeah, and
You
it
know,
soured a lot of people on WotC.
yeah. Well, WotC soured a lot of people on WotC.
Yeah, well,
they,
I mean,
they,
it
they,
is a
they
as one of their products. Yeah,
Yeah, they did
as
some
an
faux
example
pas
of
after
their.
faux pas after faux pas. Now they've
Yeah,
made some overtures. They've got some new leadership. We'll see.
And
They have hinted at a new Dark Sun. Um,
yeah, well, they've hinted at that basically about once every 14 months the entire time that fifth edition's been out.
yeah,
Because on the Dark Sun, the main Dark Sun Facebook page, there's always somebody that's like, "Oh, it's coming this year," and I'm like, "Yeah, don't hold your breath."
yeah.
Like Mike Merles was saying it was coming back 4 or 5 years ago because he had his own Dark Sun game when he was still in charge of fifth edition. Didn't come out then, so I don't know. They might surprise me, but they'd really have to do a 180 to make it, and they'd probably still screw it up really bad.
Well, I mean, they're trying to turn the ship around. They did apologize to Luke twice, from
Yeah,
what I understand. And that is a good first step.
yeah.
How's that for saying it? I
So
think that
they have kind of pointed their nose in the right direction. Yeah.
yeah, they
See
were chasing an
see how far
audience
they go.
that either didn't exist or didn't care about actual true tabletop gaming.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, you know, some people call them the tourists in the
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah.
I'm sure we picked up some gamers through the past decade that are really got into it and have
Yeah.
gone. I mean, there's a lot. We've reinvigorated things. So we definitely need to double down and focus on getting
Yeah.
things. And that's why I love the OSR community. Everybody in it for the most part has been pretty great guys. A lot of the publishers out there doing that stuff, everything is great. Chubby Funster, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And Tom Wilson, I know Tom Wilson is working on. He's got a new Kickstarter or Kickstarter backer kit. I think it's a Kickstarter coming out. He's already delivered on the last one. Um, and we've got. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the QR
Yeah.
codes. I've got in my little thing. We got the Lost Tomb of Kazkuk Mot the Undying. That's code out here. And that's a adventuring into a tomb. So there's a lot of stuff out there that is coming out. But any rate, any other questions from anybody in the chat? Let us know before we wrap up. We're probably going to wrap up here in a few minutes. I'm not sure. It looks like Dan is not going to make it tonight, but he did say he wants to be involved, so he's going to be involved. And let's see. Um,
Not seeing it. I was looking at Agile Monk's comment there. Seemed to have something to say.
that's why Kelsey is investing. Oh, we need to encourage them to build. Well, and I know they've got so many things in the fire because I talk to them regularly. I mean, um, I'm they've got the Summer of Siege coming up, and like I said, if anybody does know seriously of a Dark Sun themed system campaign that might, I mean, you and I can talk too afterwards, and maybe there's something I could take a look
Yeah.
at that might be
Well,
might be doable to run in
like I said,
Sunday.
I can ask around on that one Facebook page, or I can look in the files because they've got where if somebody does a conversion, a lot of times they'll put it in the files on the group.
Yeah.
I can look in there and see
Yeah,
if
because
there's
I
castles
mean,
and
I mean,
features.
literally a lot of the times, any regular first, second edition material, you just use it as is and run it
Yeah.
straight up. The only difference is, you have ascending armor class instead of descending.
Hmm.
You got the normal armor classes, people from the third edition and on uh, crowds would think, um, and of course it uses D20, but it also has significantly different way of doing character stats. Your your you have primes and non-primes. You have a prime stat. Everybody has at least two prime stats, and then humans get an extra get to pick an extra prime stat. And
Yeah,
so
you.
prime
I think you were
prime
telling me about that last week.
yeah, prime or non-prime, it basically determines the DC. So if it's non-prime, it's going to be a DC of +6 higher, basically. So Um, so there's a little bit of advantage of doing something that's prime, and you don't have all them skills and stuff like that that they started doing with third and on editions.
Yeah.
But at any rate, yeah, my little
Well,
4 hit point wizard, it
yeah.
was the last one to get eaten by that froghemoth. So,
If you want, I could give you the thing I'm working on.
yeah, we'll see.
Although it's kind of it's not intended as a. You'd have to pick part of it. It's not intended as a convention game. It's not a. You just
Yeah.
have to be like, okay, this section over here. The
Oh,
little
we're back to that question. Yeah, I
what's
I
that?
had put it up on the screen and you never answered it. Your favorite Dark Sun character you've played?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I missed it. I guess I was looking at the wrong part of the screen. That I have played. I really have not played a huge number that were PCs. I've played thousands of NPCs, but I'm almost always the dungeon master. Probably my first one when it comes to PCs. He was a mole gladiator named Kirik, and he was a whole lot of fun. He we eventually he's kind of over in one corner of the world right now, in a place that very few people go, but he's uh, quietly collecting followers and stuff. And my current group has never met. Yeah, has never met him. The group that had not just the one that you played with, but the one that had like my wife and Alex. They've never met him,
Yeah.
uh, even though we've been playing for 10 years. But the old group had met him a few times. Some of the old groups from back in the '90s. But yeah, he's powerful warlord off in the kind of southwest, kind of away from all the sorcerer kings, so that he can kind of amass power and do his thing.
Yeah.
But
And I'll give one last thing. You've probably seen it scrolling through the chat. If you can help me out, to continue bringing content. I am paying out of pocket for restream and all that stuff. So,
mhm.
um, you know, only crits is been a big help for us. They've got some great products. I actually do have something from them. Uh, it's more my novelty, but this is a heavy duty D100,
That's pretty cool. I've
and it
only
is.
got one of the old plastic. Well, I've got two of the old plastic ones, but I don't have one cool like that. It's made out
So,
of brass.
but they've got some pretty awesome dice sets. So if you go there and you use the code Bad News Bards, you'll save on your next order, and hopefully get a little bit of
Yeah.
uh,
Hell, if they're
stuff.
local enough, we ought to get them.
Well, yeah,
Come
I
in
don't
as a
I don't I
benefit
don't think I don't think they are. I'll have to look and see where they're
to
at.
make it. Yeah. For
Yeah.
for a con this small, it wouldn't be worth the setup.
Yeah, yeah. But we do want to get everybody to go ahead and fill out the questionnaires and applications and stuff like that. So go ahead, do follow that link, and if you can show up, that would be awesome. We're looking for DMs as well. So if you want to be a DM, and we do have a limited number of vendor tables available. So it'd be interesting to see how as we get closer and closer how the vendors start stacking up. You are being a little picky on the vendors, right? You're trying to get them to be.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of people bite, but yeah, I'm trying to make it where it is themed
Gaming
appropriately.
gaming centric and and
Yeah,
themed
themed
towards
appropriate.
Dark Sun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if I could find somebody who did who either just sold arrowheads and spearheads, or who did their own napping,
Mm,
since the obsidian weapons are such stone and obsidian weapons are such a big thing, I'd bring
mm.
somebody like that in.
That would
But
be kind of cool. We
so
should be
yeah,
able to find something like that around here. It's,
yeah, you'd think, but I don't know. I've been coming up. I guess my Google foo isn't strong enough.
yeah, yeah, that's all right. Well, hit me up. Any
Yeah.
rate, anything last minute you'd like to throw out there for folks?
Um. Well, other than just if like you said, if you wanna be involved, fill out some of that stuff. I'll be looking at it all. I'll be looking at it in the morning to see if anyone did fill it out. And if you do decide to come on as a vendor or a DM, let us know, and we'll get you on here to talk to you so that
Yes.
you can
Yeah. So
introduce
we
yourself to the community,
yeah,
and
we
people
want
will
to
know what to look for and want to sign up for your stuff or buy your stuff at the con.
absolutely. If you're planning on selling merch, or if you're a vendor, um, we will get you on. We will do a highlight with you, and then anybody that wants to DM, if you're up for doing some promo, we will have you on as well. So there you go. And if you're just really excited about coming on this, hit me up. I'm pretty easy to find, and we'll get you on to talk about what you'd like to do on it. So what you're looking forward to, especially if you're looking
Yeah,
to run. That's it's there's always plenty of people willing to play, but there's
yeah,
not enough DMs.
yeah,
That's the
yeah. I probably need another 7 or 8 DMs minimum right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
maybe a little
yeah,
bit more, but yeah. And if you want to hit me up, one of the issues that I've been having is when people will put their email down.
yeah.
I'll email them, and I don't know if I'm getting stuck in their uh, spam folder or what. But if you do fill it out, and you if you want to hear back from me, put my email on the whitelist. It's darkhouserules@yahoo.com.
Okay,
No spaces.
all right. Well, there you go, folks. And yeah, we should put that on your nameplate there.
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
but at any rate, that's I think that's all for we've got for this evening. So I appreciate everybody that stopped by, and if you're watching on Memorex, or as I say on replay, um, go ask your questions in the comments below. We'd be love more than to answer those that the best they can. Chris is going to be keeping an eye on it. Of course, I see it because it's on my channel. So I get notified that there's though there, but Chris is going to be lurking it too, so he'll keep an eye on these DarkCon dispatches. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go on
anything
that.
else you'd like to say?
I can't think of anything unless somebody has a specific question. I can't think anything that would be appropriate last minute.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, Flint says good night, guys, and thanks for the stream. We appreciate you stopping by, Flint, of course. And we're gonna go ahead and say good night to everybody. I'm gonna roll the closing credits.
All
Thanks,
right. Night,
everybody.
everybody.
Looking forward to see people at DarkCon.